All right. Loading up here in a second. All right. Hear myself too. All right. There you go. Get rid of all that. Hey, Sergeant Smith, how you doing? There we go. Ah, no drinks. Son of a bee. Just getting ready to go for our company ceremony here. See out the window, see everybody.
How long has Major been in there?
Perhaps the line up to
I'm
5
just watching
5
you.
minutes.
I'm
That's
watching
creepy.
you.
What?
I just noticed Major snuck in there somehow.
Yeah, yeah. He a couple, let's say 2, 3 months ago, he picked up E5. So he done outstanding during it. So I mean, can't. He does a great job in our S2 position. He's an Intel clerk currently right now. So
Okay, I think we can be a bit more forward here.
Moose, how do I put my rifle on my back?
0,
Say again?
0.
all right, I'll be right back. I'm gonna grab something to drink here quick. We got about 2 mics. Gonna grab something to drink here quick, and I'll be right back.
Second time out.
All right.
Glad I'm not the only one that noticed that, specialist.
Static entered the formation.
Mic go. We don't hear you, top lag. It's, it's
What
just
should I
for
do? Flyby?
please go to push it out. It won't be like this for the entire night. we need to take a step forward, Jack.
That's fine.
All right. Oh! Slammed the door in my own face.
Can't blame you.
You didn't see that shit. None of you saw that, alright?
Oh, what?
Exactly. Alright. Couple last minute stragglers here loading in, but we will get us started. Alright, everybody hear me in the back? I think I'm on yelling.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Beautiful.
Yes.
All right. So kind of today we are meeting for the unit award ceremony for the month of August. We're meeting in September. Everything that is given out is what has been earned throughout the month of August. Overall, I mean, we got a couple pages here. Good chunk of awards, promotions. Overall, just embracing embracing our team, calling it out as we see it, making sure that we have people that are, exceeding in their positions. And a lot of what these awards that you'll see come in, and as we talk about, you'll kind of see a similar trend of a lot of these guys and gals. So first, usually I start off with a little bit of notes, not too much. We do have a couple classes FIG is putting together. Head over to the advanced training forum. I believe there's a land nav course going on. I know we just completed a WLC, as well as, we completed a WLC here in the month of August as well, which we'll talk about. The idea of what FIG and command staff is trying to do a lot with these courses is host them at various different times. One of the common things that we talked about as a command staff is, just how wide ranged of time zones we have in our unit. As we talked before, we're EST based, so everything's based off the Eastern time zone in the U.S. That's where Fort Stewart, Georgia is, so that's why, and that's the unit that we portray. But having soldiers in even the Pacific coast of the United States, when we have things like this at 1300, it's 9 a.m. ish for them. Otherwise, if you're getting over into the UK right now, it's the clear evening. And then if you are a very special lieutenant and another soldier in our unit that's from Australia, it's 2, 3 a.m. for you right now. So trying to get a training course time that is going to work for everybody is going to be almost impossible. There's going to be sacrifices that have to be made, whether it's waking up at 2 a.m. in the morning or staying up till midnight, 2 o'clock, or having to make sacrifices with your personal schedule with, not going shopping that day and do a training class if you want the recognition that goes with completing that course. So one thing that FIG and CID has been doing a lot more of is alternating those times in those courses so that it's fair and then we have a fair amount of potential for soldiers to sign up. So there'll be some morning classes, EST morning, and then there'll be some EST night time as well to try to get a very amount of people to be able to attend. So it's fair overall, if that makes sense. I know, let's see, we don't actually have any unit anniversaries, so nobody in the month of August enlisted a month ago. We had, at the very end, September, a year ago. Last month, we did have Sergeant Scanar hold his 1 year. Officially, he enlisted like the 27th, 28th of August, and finally had his orientation the 1st of September, so that's borderline, but we celebrated that last month. And so no unit anniversaries. So hopefully anybody that enlists this month will hopefully see you in a year. Let's see. So kind of getting onto the meat and potatoes side of the ceremony. If I call your name, if you're new, if this is your first ceremony, go ahead and post in front of me. If you post with several others, try to align yourself straight, cover down, and then render a hand salute. So, and then follow the commands from there. Without further ado, if I can get Abel, Purdy, Tucci, Cruz, and Romanov. Post. Romanov, sorry. All right, Buffets. All right. So these soldiers with PFC Cruz here in front of me are being awarded the Military Outstanding Volunteer Service Medal for completion of donating to our unit. Our unit is solely funded by our donations that pays for our website, our dedicated boxes, and just various expenses that kind of come with clan lists, for example. In the month of August here, as a unit, we raised $550. That's $200 more than we did the prior month of $350. And I mean, it just goes to show the soldiers that donate. That kind of shows that dedication side of themselves. That they kind of put their money where their mouth is, that they enjoy what they have here, so they want to invest and make sure that it stays afloat. You know, multiple times you've heard me if you've been in these ceremonies. 2 things kill a unit: finance and poor leadership. If you know, you get a bunch of you know, people together and they don't want to take the financial burden of it, that's going to lead to a unit falling pretty quickly. It takes a lot of dedicated people, or at least for sure one, for multiple years, covering unit expenses. It's just part of what the commander does. So when I see donations of, you know, for sure these large ones, Abel, Purdy, and Cruz both donated $100 or more. In this case, I know Cruz did $150, Purdy did $200, and Abel did $100. With Tucci and Romano, they both had 50, which is the standard to hit this medal and to be awarded this medal. So again, I can't say how thankful I personally am, and then obviously your soldiers in front of you as well for your donations. So, hua. Oh, all right, Buffets. Thanks again.
Thanks, sir.
Fall back in. It's pretty cool, Bulk. Next up, go ahead and get me Drake, Shade, Grig, Escabilla, Hendrix, Skits, Carey, Sam, and Onira. Post. A little jacked up on our thing. Try to straighten that out. Look left or right. There you go. All right. So these soldiers are hereby being... Oh, sorry. About face. All right. These soldiers are hereby being awarded the Good Conduct Medal. The Good Conduct Medal is awarded for 3 months of continuous good service within the unit. That means no lapse in AWOLs, LOAs, just going on and doing what they're brought into the unit and what they are dedicated to doing. Being able to have 3 months of good service, I mean, this one can be awarded up to 4 times a year. So you can max this medal out pretty quickly if you are doing what is kind of required of you here while you join our unit. So being active, being here, participating, TPRing when you can't make it, and it's just doing the right things. So congratulations and hua. All right, Buffets.
What?
All right, fall back in. All right. go ahead and get me Grig and Hendrix post. I think both are not here. Yep, not here, both of them. Okay. These two soldiers are hereby being awarded the Army Achievement Medal. I'll read their citations. Both are based off of leadership, attaining the Army Achievement Medal. So for Grig, always ready to take over for ghosts while their squad leader might not be present or TPR'd for an event. It's showing that willingness to step up, take on that role, either as a fire team leader currently. Luckily with him, he does have vast experience in being a squad leader as well, so it's a natural fit as well. So it's just for that extended period of time, constantly doing it, constantly being ready, and then providing that leadership to his fire team as well. Hendrix has been a team leader for roughly only a month currently, but has shown to be a very capable leader. He makes sure that he is also one of those soldiers in his squad that is really the backbone. I call those soldiers like our thoughtful leaders. If you attended our WLC, soldiers like Hendrix that are able to inspire people to be on with him. When he's on, people are more active, and that's just the type of leader that you need. So a big hoo to these two for leading from the front and showing it. So being awarded the Army Achievement Medal. Hoo. All right, I see next one is Vandenberg, which I see is not here. Vandenberg is hereby being awarded the Joint Service Achievement Medal, the JSAM, for outstanding work and commitment to recruiting and retention over the month of July and August, completing multiple applications and assisting recruiting and retention staff whenever possible. So the JSAM and the JSCM, the Joint Service Commendation Medal, are strictly medals and awards that are given for excellence in a DMOS. So, when we get into some of the promotions here, being in a DMOS is very vital to obviously our success as a unit, making sure that every soldier participates at a certain level in his career. In a DMOS shows ownership in the infrastructure side of the unit, and how the admin side of the unit, keeping us crisp, looking professional, all, T's crossed, I's dotted, and really making sure that the unit runs as a well-oiled machine, requires good soldiers in our DMOSs as well as our combat side. So big hoo to him for achieving his JSAM. Hoo. Next up, get me Brock, Lambert, and Greg post. All right. Ballface? All right. So these three soldiers are hereby being awarded the Humanitarian Service Medal. So if you recall, back in June, we announced the Humanitarian Service Medal was getting an upgrade to its requirements to be achieved and earned in our unit. Prior, the Humanitarian Service Medal was more or less for above and beyond helping a soldier and with a personal matter, more or less, not in a in-game setting or even online setting, but helping them on a personal level and really just taking it above and beyond and helping. So we kind of transformed this award. It still qualifies for that exact thing I just said. However, we added our clan lists to it. Voting in clan lists is very vital to obviously our recruitment side of the unit. We not only invest in clan lists to get the 300 votes and be on the first page, but all our soldiers, we try to inspire to vote as much as possible on our clan lists on our website, because what that does is draw our name, our banner, towards the top. And as a new soldier or a recruit or a civilian looking to join a unit for ARMA, they generally are all funneled there. And being towards the top, obviously you get more exposure, in returns get more recruits. So we turned it to where you can vote now up to 2 times a day on 2 different platforms, that is counted anyway, on our website, to achieve a total of 60 votes per 30 days or per month. These 3 soldiers, that is the requirement. Even if you come in at 59, doesn't count. It's not good enough. So these soldiers, these 3 voted every single day for 30 days, twice a day. One on the computer, one on a mobile device, on a laptop, whatever. And it shows that dedication. It shows the willingness and, the remembering to do it. Trust me, I've been trying to do it myself, and there's days that, I messed up, and I forgot to vote on my phone. So now I'll be at 59. Doesn't qualify. So it takes a lot of dedication to be able to achieve this and remember. So a big hua and a big thank you, because you got to think this is, 180 votes in the month of August that we didn't have before, with each of these maxing out at 60. So big thank you and hua. Congratulations.
What?
Whoa.
All right. Bellface? All right, fall back in. Just think, if you're looking for this medal, that's an easy one, and you could start today and qualify for next month. So just think of that. Hey, Hornet. All right, next up, go ahead and get me Abel, Toplek, Sam, Moose, Hendrix, Lucky, and Skits post. All right, Bowface. All right, as I mentioned, a course that we ran in the month of August was our Warrior Leadership course. So this is our basic leadership course offered to specialists, corporals. It's a course that you must graduate and complete to qualify and get into the E5 rank. You can enter the NCO Corps without it, being a corporal or something like that. However, getting into that E5 slot and holding it for an X amount of time, WLC is required. It is a leadership course that these soldiers went through. In total, I think it was about 8 to 9 hours of classroom instruction, PowerPoints covering one-on-ones, leadership development, and to where each of them had to complete a series of quizzes and tests to even get into the course. And obviously pass those, which were not easy, including our training modules and our WLC exam. So these soldiers are the ones that took dedicated time out of their weekends to really sit behind a computer and learn how to lead and learn some fundamentals of leadership, so that they can turn around and lead soldiers more efficiently. And have a foundation of how to lead soldiers. As I mentioned with the 2 things that destroy a unit is leadership and poor financials, right? We make sure that we embed our leadership in our units. One of the questions that we asked during WLC was, are leaders born or made? It's a bit of both. And we want to make sure that we develop solid leaders that are coming up and developing soldiers under them and having that recognition of these soldiers so that they can continue to be prosper, lead from the front, and hopefully someday lead this unit. So really, a big hua. I appreciate you guys' time that weekend as well. And I'm very happy to announce that you guys are being awarded the the NCO development ribbon, professional development ribbon. With this, everybody that I called out will be awarded this. However, it is an NCO ribbon, so you must hit that E4 corporal to wear it. But being that you've completed this warrior leadership course, now it is just simply your time, dedication, and a slot to open up to achieve that corporal rank. So a big hua and congratulations. Hua.
Hua.
All right, Bowface. Congrats, leaders. Fall back in. All right, go ahead and get me Ayers, Poltrack, Owens, and Black post. Cringe. All right, I don't actually think any of those are here looking at the TeamSpeak. These soldiers are hereby getting their first promotion up to E3, so outside of a training environment. They are working towards creating and starting their unit, are starting their careers in our unit, being able to achieve PFC. It's really a time in service and activity, so it shows the first steps of dedicating their time and everything that they need to do. So go ahead, Cruz post. All right, Buffets. All right, PFC Cruz, you are hereby being promoted to the grade and rank of E4 Specialist. As I mentioned before, to achieve Specialist, to achieve a certain point in our unit, you must be in a DMOS. That rank is Specialist. To achieve Specialist, being in a DMOS is vital and a requirement. It shows that you're not only a potential leader as a specialist, you can be a fire team leader, or you could just be a standard soldier. It's kind of your choice. Specialist is really that hang-up rank on pivoting which way you want to go with your career into a leadership role to advance further in the ranks, or just kind of, chill in game where you're at. But ensuring that we're part of a DMOS at this rank really helps the unit on a fundamental level, as I said before. So a big hua to Specialist Cruz here. As he's coming up, I'm very excited to have him continue his progression into, further ranks. Obviously, he was up here earlier for the Military Outstanding Volunteer Service Medal, so he's dedicated with the financial side of the unit. He's extremely active and does outstanding work in our FIG, and then obviously moving into his new fire team leader role as well. So, hua. Congratulations, Specialist.
Hua.
All right, Dollface. Hua. Fall back in. All right, Escabella, Greg, and Skits post. All right, Bowface. All right, these three soldiers, two in front of you, are hereby being awarded the Army Commendation Medal. Again, this is a medal that can be awarded for outstanding leadership or valor within a combat environment. So I'll read the citations on here. So Escabella's not here. He's getting the ARCOM with valor. Specialist Hendricks, Corporal Abel, demonstrated excellent leadership during mission Electrified Roads. Now we'll get to Escabella here. The enemy came within an overwhelming waves of their teams and were able to keep the enemies at bay. Unfortunately, during the last push, both Specialist Hendricks and Corporal Abel, along with all their members of the team, went down with one exception, Specialist Escabella, who managed to repel the last remaining forces and at the same time provide critical first aid to his two fire team leaders with support. When support arrived, both leaders were brought back on their feet and continued to live the tall tale, is what it says. But so this was wrote up by his leadership, being one of the last ones in this combat engagement, repelling the rest of the forces and taking care of the wounded and getting them up is very key. Just being able to do that in a combat environment, keep his cool, not go get himself shot as well. He was able to essentially bring back his entire team after being wounded themselves. So hua to him for the Archon with Valor. We have Skits. Skits, you're being awarded the Archon with Valor. During Electrified Roads, Skits was the master of trades during combat. While holding an overwatch position with his fire team, enemy forces advanced on their position. The enemy forces took out most his fire team. Skits held strong and quickly suppressed and eliminated the enemy forces advancing. He was also able to stabilize his team so that when help arrived, they had minor work to do to get the team back up and running again. So again, similar to Escabella's combat, being advanced on and holding his own, holding down the position, never retreating, never placing the mission first. A lot of the warrior ethos, as we talked about, and really just eliminating the threat and getting his team back up and ready to go. And then Sergeant Grigg, shares this award with a few other soldiers of his team for outstanding and consistent attendance within his squad of Second Squad. They are able to motivate their troops to attend events and have the lowest absent rate in the entire unit for the month of August. And I believe July, too. So this is an Archon for just outstanding leadership, led from the front. Sergeant Greg is the squad leader, second. Is somebody that is able to inspire his troops, develop his fire team leaders, and be sure that his team is ready to go. So a big hooah and thank you. Hooah. All right, Buffface. Pop again. Bulk, we do that too, buddy. This is just a one-a-month thing, so thanks though. All right, next up, go ahead. Grigg is not currently here. Grigg is hereby being promoted to the grade and rank of E5 Sergeant. He's currently a fire team leader within Ghosts and qualifies for his E5. He completed WLC in a prior tour, and he's just one that's ready to go. So a big hooah to him. Hooah. All right. Next up, go ahead, get me Frost and Bodwin post. Copy. All right. These two soldiers are hereby being promoted to Warrant Officer 1 for completion of their flight school within 3 Cap. It's a school that ranges on really the skill level of being a pilot. As ground forces, we know that we are very dependent on our transport and our close air support while in game. So I mean, it's one of those that having skilled, trained pilots and a plethora of them is going to be very vital to our success on the ground. So big hooah and congratulations to achieving Warrant Officer 1 and getting out of flight school. Hooah. All right, next up, I know these two aren't here. Yep. So I got Lieutenant Simmons and Corporal Tucci are hereby being awarded the Combat Infantry Badge, Stage 3 for Simmons and Stage 4 for Tucci. Now, both of these soldiers are prior enlisted. LT Simmons just got back from retirement. He's been serving in our unit for 6-7 years as a whole. Has achieved, he came out of being as a major, so he's been our company commander before. He's been our flight commander, back then it was called Brawlers, 3 Cab, for many, many years. And it's funny that he's only hitting Stage 3 after being in the unit for so long. It's mostly, the reason behind that is that he is been in flight for most of that, except obviously up to 2 operations or 3 other operations to achieve Stage 3. Prior to that, they were awarded cabs or air wings as well. So that's why he is now an infantry role as a executive officer, which is why he's only making Stage 3 currently right now. And then Tucci is a return soldier as well, coming out of another tour. This is be his 4th combat operation, Operation Thin Ice. So obviously to have that experience within the team is vital. Being able to have soldiers like that is just solid. So Hua.
Well,
All right. Next up, go ahead. Owens, Ayers, Poltrack, Nichols, Black, and I'm gonna slaughter this name. Ericola? PFC Tech?
Agricola.
How do you say it?
You pronounce it as Agricola.
Agricola.
Oh, no.
No? All right. Well, it'll be one that's slaughtered a lot by me. I apologize. All right, Buffface. All right. These soldiers, plus this soldier in front of me that I can't pronounce the name, going to be named Cola for a while until I get the first part, is hereby being awarded their first combat infantry badge stage, stage 1. So a lot of the stage 1s that are going forward in this operation, as we're now several months into it, are most likely newer soldiers to the unit. So being brought into the unit, go through orientation, and achieve their first combat role, or obviously I think at this stage, any mission that we ran in the month of August, so you can have anywhere from 1 to 3 combat missions already under their belt. But hitting that stage 1 is really that first stepping stone. It gets you, shows that you're a combat veteran in our unit, that you have engaged the enemy forces, and luckily you most likely survived it. So congratulations, and Hua, welcome to the unit. Hua, Buffface? Thank you, Cola. Carry on. I promise, I'll learn it. There's some other hard ones that I've learned, alright?
Alright.
There's a reason I still call Sergeant Greg that and Sergeant Grig that. It's a lot easier. Alright, next up, go ahead and get me Shade, post. Is he
Seems
here?
like he just
Oh.
lost connection.
Gotcha. Alright, we're gonna need a medic back there. No. Alright. Sergeant Shade is hereby being awarded the Combat Action Badge. As I mentioned with the Combat Infantry Badge, is only for 11 Bravo, 11 Alpha series, which means that you are an infantryman. Combat Action Badge is for what the infantry world calls POGs, personnel other than grunt, or there's some other, names for it as well. But the Combat Action Badge is awarded to Shade, who officially moved from an 11 Bravo infantryman to a 25 Yankee Romeo, 25 Romeo. He's our RTO. So officially that is not an infantry base MOS. Therefore, he qualified for the Combat Action Badge, so for engaging in combat. So that's his stage 1. So, Hua. Next up is also not here is Vandenberg. So as the Combat Action Badge is for personnel other than grunt, the Combat Medical Badge stage 1 is issued to our medics, squad medics, not combat lifesavers, but medics, that are technically a 68 whiskey series. So with that, he's being awarded his stage 1 for engaging in combat as a medic in the month of August. So Hua. All right, next up, go ahead and get me Hendricks and Abel. Post. Abel, you might want to listen up. Buffface. All right. So I have Hendricks in front of me and Abel actually watching our stream right now, so they're both present. So during combat mission Electrified Roads, Specialist Hendricks and his team successfully defended one of the province exit roads, countering multiple waves of enemy in technical and armor. Unfortunately, Specialist Hendricks and Corporal Abel. Let's see, where was I? Unfortunately, Specialist Hendricks and Corporal Abel, alongside most of their team, went down while in their final path. Luckily, they were able to. Luckily, Specialist Spella was able to fight off the enemy forces while providing critical aid to both Corporal and Specialist Hendricks and Abel, allowing them to be safely evacuated. So, a lot of this goes down into the leadership of these two. So you got a squad leader and a fire team leader moving into kind of in a way like protective mode, right? Having heavy technicals and armor roll up on you, being wounded, being knocked down, being brought back up again, and I'm not talking about the song, but being able to complete the mission as a whole after being wounded, ensuring that their team is taken care of, and that they completed their mission as well. So these two soldiers, Hendricks and Abel, are hereby being awarded the Purple Heart for completion of that mission, while taking, extreme forces onto themselves and their team, but then also being able to complete and take care of their soldiers. So a big hooah to them, and congratulations. Hooah.
What?
All right, Buffets. Congrats.
Thank you, sir.
Fall back in. All right. Make sure I didn't miss anything. I got one more. I was kind of shocked this month that we didn't have any National Defense Service medals, unless I missed them. I'll double check, but that's kind of odd to me. That's the first time I think that's happened in a long time. That's for the new soldiers, is any soldier that enlisted in our unit that has served in their armed forces. Does not need to be U.S. military. So, congrats, Abel. So next up, Lieutenant Lambert, post. All right, Buffets. All right. So, having led so far as a cadet and a lieutenant within 1st Platoon Widowmakers as their official platoon leader, having led 7 combat missions during Operation Thin Ice, B. Lambert continues to lead from the front and ensure his platoon has everything that they need from information and ensuring squads are properly prepped for their engagements. More specifically, for extraordinary acts of valor while under direct fire from enemy engagements during ground operations against the superior hostile forces within Operation Thin Ice, mission Crystal Shield. Lieutenant, you are hereby being awarded the Bronze Star with Valor. Ooh. So a little background on the Crystal Shield. Really can go into almost every single one of the 7 operations that the lieutenant has led from the front as the platoon leader. But going out and making sure that his soldiers have everything they need. Him and Sergeant Drake take care and handle, all the squad debriefs, briefing squad leaders, fire team leaders, leadership in general, of what's going to happen during the upcoming mission, and then also ensuring that we have soldiers ready for those combat engagements, ensuring that there's equipment, making sure that communications with 3 cabs online, anything and everything that a leader needs to do, the lieutenant does it. And then obviously the engagement side of things, he's right there in the shit with you. He's ready to get shot for you, and he's ready to, yell and scream at the top of his lungs when a tank's rolling over the hill. And he's just ready to engage in combat, and he does it from the front, and he does it with honor. So big hua, and really well earned. So hua. All right, hua. Bowface. Congrats.
Thank you, Pedro.
Ooh, fall back in. All right. I did miss one. Thank you. Is Nichols present? Post, if you are. Not present. All right. So I did miss one with the National Defense Service Medal. A re-enlistee, actually. So Private Nichols enlisted with us many, many years ago. I want to say 2016, 17 timeframe. Prior to back when, I believe, high school. Don't quote me on that, but he went off, left our unit with a general discharge, and actually enlisted, I believe, in the Air Force, if I recall. So serving throughout his time in the Air Force, and then obviously re-enlisting recently with us to engage in some combat and play Arma. So big hua to him for his service, as well as anybody else that have served in the armed forces. So hua. All right. Let me just check. Let me check on that. Stand by. All right. So go ahead and get me. I did miss a few. I apologize for that. I got a lot of PMs in the month of August, definitely with WLC, so it pushed like all the award recommendations down, and I missed a few. So Brock, Greg, and Lambert, and Cruz post. Bowface? Alright, I got Alt Tab to read these because I didn't have them printed out. Alright, so we will start with Sergeant Brock. He's hereby being awarded the JSAM, so I missed that when we came through. Sergeant Brock, for the past few months, took over the fun op on Fridays, and in this time, Sergeant Brock's demonstrated his capabilities of producing missions and providing a fun time for the unit during Friday night's events. Sergeant Brock also helped with the repair/fixing issue of our official 3rd ID map, switching squad drill templates to Acre and Task Force, or to Task Force. Apart from small issues/adjustments, this wrote up by the NCOIC of BMO, never had to go back over the mission file that Sergeant Brock provided because it was always complete and to perfection and without issues. So this was a JSAM for working in BMO as an electronic maintenance chief. So who would Sergeant Brock? Sergeant Grigg. Sergeant Grigg never fails to disappoint in his work in BMO from the day he joined as a senior RMS, so roster maintenance specialist. He has always ensured that everything in BMO, he has always ensured everything in BMO is done correctly, and as early as possible, always putting 150% into everything he does, always doing everything right, without hesitations. Words cannot simply express how much Sergeant Grigg did in his 6 months of being part of this DMOS. With that being in BMO also, for 6 months, he's being awarded the Joint Service Commendation Medal for his work as a senior RMS, and then also the Armed Forces Service Medal for achieving a DMOS, being in a DMOS for 6 months or more. So we then have Lieutenant Lambert being awarded a JSAM Joint Service Achievement Medal. Same with Sergeant Grigg. Lieutenant Lambert is always doing everything he can in BMO despite his busy work schedule in multiple DMOSs and his own MOS as being a platoon leader. Most of the time, I, the BMO NCOIC, don't even have time to remind Lieutenant or Sergeant that BMO requests are waiting to be completed, because by the time I see it, they are done. I can say with complete confidence that the Lieutenant and the Sergeant are the backbone of our BMO. And at this stage, I cannot imagine BMO running smoothly without these two soldiers being a part of it. So all these medals are being awarded just for the work in our BMO, put in by Sergeant Skinar, our NCOIC, who handles a lot of our back end of our unit, S2, and really just puts a lot of dedication into ensuring, files are done correctly, service records are up to date, and that we are just looking that professional look that we should be. So, and through CID, we have PFC or specialist crews now being awarded the Joint Service Achievement Medal, a JSAM. At the time, PFC Cruz has proven to be a quick learner and a person who is full of ideas. PFC Cruz helped a lot with his knowledge of his real-life military career and with updating the unit uniform templates. He gave us ideas for new badges. He found and made most of the material and etc. In this last month, PFC Cruz has completed a pretty big number of requests with a limited number of mistakes that needed to be corrected. So really, just to be able to come into the unit, obviously a specialist here has a good amount of knowledge of military, AR-670-1, the appearance of a soldier, and puts that to good use. And then obviously using Photoshop and using things you need as a uniform updater and a multimedia illustrator are vital. Knowing how to use those, and he put those to use, and obviously learning them at the same time, as it said, being a quick learner. So a big hoo to these soldiers for doing what they do. So hoo. All right, let me get back in game. All right, Balface. Thanks again for your work in DMOSs. Oh. Fall back in. Big shout out to Sergeant Skinar for pointing out that I missed those. So, I apologize. I hate when shit falls through the cracks. All right, we have kind of the last thing that I wanted to talk about was something that we're launching. We had a command staff meeting this last Friday, I think it was, on opening up reserves. So currently right now, as a soldier in our unit, we are either active duty, attending everything that we can, weekend drills, weekend operations, mustering in, TPRing when we can't make that one event or two events a weekend or a month or something like that, and moving towards our other side of it. If you can't make those, you kind of have two options: put in a discharge, come back when you have the time, or put in an LOA, which you're capped at 2 months, so that you can reevaluate and find a schedule that works for you. One thing that command staff has looked into more in depth was reopening a reserves component to our unit. It would still require activity. It would still require attendance, but it's of a lesser scale. Now, I'm one that actually was hesitant towards it. Command staff and myself sat down and we kind of talked it out about what those options look like and how we're going to maintain soldiers basically in this potential reserves side of the unit. You not hear me? Because that's what I'm talking about, Lieutenant.
Roger, I hear.
All right. So ideally, this is something that's going to be rolling out. We're still working out some of the verbiage on how and what activity level we're looking for within a reserves unit. But it at least provides another option for our soldiers that is not necessarily an LOA that kind of cuts you off from everything, right? Once you're on LOA, you're expected to be on LOA. We want you to take that time, reevaluate what you needed, what inspired you to take that LOA in the first place, and just get away because you're off our books, you're off of our rosters to have to worry about when you're on that LOA until you come back. In this reserves component, you'll be still required to muster in weekly or report in weekly, still attend an X amount of unit events, and then usually what we'd use that reserves component for, anybody that shows up reserves for a drill, from reserves from a drill or from reserves from for an operation, are more or less used as fill-ins wherever our lowest numbers are. So officially you don't have a stable chain of command. You will have somebody that's responsible for you that you'll report to while being in that reserves element, and held someone that's going to hold you accountable to the standards that are laid out in the reserves. But it does provide less activity or less need, and still keep you hopefully in the unit. Now there are a lot of other factors in that which we'll be posting here in this month sometime once we kind of iron out the final details. But I wanted to announce that is coming down the pipeline. It's not to cause hopefully a bunch of people to go join the reserves to be here less, but it does provide those that would generally not be here and discharged from the unit another option to be around. But in limited capabilities and obviously fashion for yourselves for being able to be promoted, awarded, and things like that are hindered as well while being in reserves. So the whole point is that we want you here and active. So this just creates another layer to help keep you about that borderline level. So other than that, I think I got everything. Today we do launch into an operational mission. This is a back-to-back weekend. We had one last weekend and we have another one this weekend. So we're going to kind of wrap up. I'll call the lieutenant up here if he has any final words. And then we have about 65, 67 minutes until step off. So Lieutenant, post. All right, take charge. Dismiss your troops.
Thank you, Major. All right, Widowmakers. Congrats everyone on receiving a promotion or award. If you didn't, keep up the hard work. Next month will be coming around probably before we know it. Just a couple maintenance things really quick. So if you did receive a promotion or award, you'll need to submit a CID update for your uniform to be updated on the website. For that, if you remember everything you got, you can go ahead and submit it. If you're not too sure, just wait for your profile to be updated. Once the awards and promotions are displayed on your service record, then go ahead and submit that CID update as soon as possible. Those are required to be promoted and receive awards. So always make sure you update those as soon as possible. Next thing here, we got about 60 odd minutes or so, like Major LaFlash said, before the combat mission. Relax, chill out a bit, and then we'll have lead brief. The leader brief for the combat mission will be at 14:30. Just to cover on that here. And then the platoon brief will be 14:45, and we'll just go over some gear at 1500, and then we'll be stepping right off. So, not in a leadership position from squad lead up. Make sure you're here by 14:45 Eastern for the platoon brief. Alright, big Widowmakers.
Oh, congrats, soldiers.
Yep, congrats again, everyone. First platoon's dismissed.
All right. So I appreciate everybody watching. We actually had a good turnout of 40 some odd people watching right now. So from all three platforms, this is the first stream that I actually got it to work to where I'm streaming on Twitch, our unit, my personal Twitch, as we don't have a unit one. Our unit YouTube and our unit Facebook page. So if you are watching on one platform, I appreciate if you head over to the other two and hit the follow or hit the like, and hope to see you guys in about 45 minutes. I'll probably launch back up here, and see you soon. Thanks for watching. Appreciate it.